Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So I'm excited because today I want to do a whole fairyland. So for the base color, I did a mixture of a light pink and purple. So for the pink, I used Candy Moyo 934. For the more purple tone, I did Candy Moyo 939. And then I kind of wanted a sheen over it, so I went ahead and used Sally Hansen in Iris Illusion 546. And then on these two, that sparkle you're seeing, it's really pretty because I had to have some bling for my fairies. That is Sally Hansen Stellar Explosion 765. Look at all those sparkles. Okay, I'm gonna have a lot of things I want to do, but I'm gonna start with picking up the fairies. That way I can tell how much space they're going to take up on each nail so I can see what I can fit on around them. So we will be using Maniology plate M574. This is their newer fairy plate, and I was so excited when this came out. So I'm going to be getting for sure these three fairies. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now there's going to be some more I'm going to get as well, but we're going to start with these three. So I'm going to use Maniology Straight Up Black B171 for the pickup. And we will be reverse stamping what we can. These three are the ones that can be reverse stamped as to where like this one's right here solid. But you can color their wings in. Oop, forgot I'd gotten my new bottle out and now here I am putting too much, trying to get off some. One actually I might could do this. Just pull it on over and just start picking them up. Yep, I got that one. I'm having to work fast and then I'll show it to you. Okay, that third one might be too dry by now, but we'll try. Yeah, that one's too dry. Well, that defeated the purpose because even that middle one was missing a little piece. Okay, but this is the first one. And the second one. Okay, so I'm going to go to my one and only clear jelly stamper plate. It is CJS 294, the furry plate. I'm going to first get this log here. And they also have a small one down here, but I think I'm going to try this big one. And it is a layering part. Okay, so for the solid part, I'm going to use Maniology's Cocoa B351. And there are some other pieces on there, but I don't think I'm going to get them on there. I guess I could have actually fit the small one, but that's okay. And then for the layered part, I'm going to use Maniology's Acorn B498. That way there is a difference in color tone. Feel like it missed a little piece of that top part. Just that little line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and be right back. Okay. It was just a little tiny. By the way, real quick, one of our no friends mentioned to me the splatters that come off from the bottle seem to be the overspray on the cap. I did not know there was an overspray, but I can actually see it here. And they just used acetone to clean theirs off, and then it was fine. So I do need to do that because I've already got splatters on me. But for anybody else that happens to, just try that and see if it works for you. Okay, for the other fairy, I want her to have a mushroom, and there's a small one, and then there's a larger one. I'm going to go with the larger one because since the fairy is not a tiny fairy, I think that one will fit better. So I'm going to do the top of it first because I need it placed low enough on the nail that she's still going to fit. So I'm going to do that first. That'll help me. I'm going to use, many always use Nutmeg B352. And I do have a question. Do When I looked up the color tone they call this, it's like they called it a red orange. So which color do you put yours with? Because I was like, I don't know what to put it with because I kind of thought it was kind of a brown tone too. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of got some different colors. So I don't know what set of my colors to put it with. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom portion the same, but it only needs a tiny part of it because, like I said, I didn't put it up high enough to fit all of it. But and then I'll come back and do the layering part of it. So that little tiny piece, it needs to come down a little bit more. That's my fault. I didn't get a good pickup. Just gonna do like that. Yeah, I'm gonna do the layering portion in Maniology's Belmont B170. And I think we have a fly that wants to be part of the video. I accidentally let the darn thing in. When I opened the door, there he goes. Oh my gosh. It only wants to be over here messing with me. It doesn't want to go away. I was trying to look to see what. You know what? If I do it in white, that sure is covering quite a bit of it. Hold on. Okay, I showed this in my pinks video, but it's really kind of a peach. Let's do Restless Dahlia, B232. I never use it. Let's do it. Okay, and the little counterpart for the bottom. Okay, for the other fairy, we're going to come to Maniology plate M287, and we're going to get the flowers here. Okay, so let's use Maniology's Classic Clown B289. Also a layering part. And I want it to fill in the bottom, so I may end up doing this twice, but I will know once I get it placed. Okay, so I will do it twice. However, I do need to go ahead and do the layering part. That way, you will be able to tell because if I go ahead and place the other one and they overlap, you won't see the outlining as well. So I'm just going to do it the way it needs to be done first. So because it's got the leaves as a solid, I'm going to use Miniology's Emerald City B514. Now, if you wanted them separate colors, you would just use one color for the top part and another color for the leaf area. But it's our magical fairy world, so I don't mind it being green. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time and be back. Okay, that's the second layer without the layering part, and then with. Also, the reason I wanted this one up a little bit is because our little flower fairy, because she's, if you can see, she's laying on or sitting on some flowers. She's smaller than the other two, so I wanted her to be able to come up higher, so that way it'll look like she is sitting on the flowers more towards the middle of the nail. So what I'd like to do for these two, so it doesn't look like, okay, so like I don't want the log to necessarily just be, I want it to look more land-like. So I'm going to go ahead and add some grass to it. So I'm going to use Maybelline Tropic Talks and just draw some on. So I just got some on my brush here. We'll just draw a little bit of grass looking area. And do the same to this one. Um, but I may have to bring in another color tone as well because it's not wanting to cover my base color too well. So maybe if I bring in another tone as well, it'll make it look a little bit more grass-like. So I'm going to take a little bit of Emerald City to do that. You could also do the log one, like if it was over water, that would be also pretty. I do still want the other color to come through some. Now, because it's my magical fairy world, I want some green in here as well. Um, so what I'm going to do is go to plate M035. And I do like these trees right here because of the way they curve in. Now, because the fairies on these two particular nails are the larger ones, I need to place them to where they won't interfere with the fairy placement. So since like this fairy's facing this direction, I don't want to put the tree towards like she's, because she looks like she's just taken off on a to fly. I don't want it to look like she's like gonna fly into the tree. So I want to put the tree basically behind her. And since we already have our mushroom, I really just want to have kind of the branch area, but not to where it's like kind of where it's just coming off the side. And I also need to place it up high enough to where it doesn't interfere uh, with the height of her. And if I do the tree first, once I place her, she'll be over it versus it being over her, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna just use cocoa. Now I know it's gonna pick up these some of the leaves, but it's okay because you can always color over the leaves. This is just the easier way to do it because when I try to take off all the 10,000 leaves, it becomes kind of difficult because they are in with the branch and I want the branch. So we're going to come up higher, like I said, but off to the side. Okay. Now the other fairy is facing this direction. So I want to do the same, but the tree is going to come from this side. So we're going to go to this one over here. Let's see. Okay, I don't need this bottom one. Now, for the leaves, you could go to the green and pick this up 10,000 times, and I have done that before. But the easier way to do it is going to be drawing them yourself. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Tropic Talks color, and I'm also going to pull in some of my Candy Moyo 961 because it's the darker green, more olivey green, I guess I should say. Then I have what I call my crazy brush because it is just an old frayed brush, but they're still good for this sort of a thing. So we'll just kind of go back and forth. So we'll take a little bit of the color. I'm going to tap a little bit off at the same time so it don't have way too much. And we're going to tap tap to give us some leaves. But again, I still want some of the darker green, so I'm going to do the exact same with that. You could do colors, like yellow, red, whatever, if you wanted to do that. But I want some green for the fairies. Okay, so I'm going to pop over to this one, do the exact same thing, and I will be right back. Okay, but you see, you're still keeping your branches. So as you can see, the background, it is where it'll start coming to life. Now, don't rush yourself. Sometimes as you go and then you figure where you're placing things, you can decide from there, okay, well, what can I fill in this area now? Because this one, I have to decide what do I want to add anything up top, and if so, what would fit in? What do I want to add? Same with the other two. And again, like these two have the glitter. I may decide once I get to the other fairies, that I want glitter on these as well. So you just kind of go with how it's looking, how you're feeling, what you think will fill it in. And I'm going to say also, when I mentioned don't rush yourself because then it becomes stressful. Um, if you need to like go tend to other things, it's okay. Just leave it where you're at. Go do what you have to do because I have to do that myself. And then I have to just come back to it. Or if I start feeling like just stressed, like if I feel like I'm taking too long, okay, I'm gonna take a break, go walk away for a minute, get a drink or whatever, and come back to it. It doesn't have to be like done in a set time. It's supposed to be fun and relaxing. So, just take the time you need to enjoy the process. Okay, so I don't take up all of your time. I'm doing the skin tone. So I've used Sally Hansen Instant Coffee 138. If you're going to use a stamping polish, I do Maniology Skin Deep is pretty much identical to this color. So on her arms and legs, I had to brace my pinky to keep myself from moving too much and just come down in a line on each. So I've switched to do the same to this one. For the face, because it's so little, just had to dot it on. So tap, tap. Let's do the leg first. Now, for the arm, I'm going to turn it to where I can still come down in a line. Okay, so I'm looking at this one and it looks like part of her hair was solid up on the pickup, but there's still a little tiny bit showing. So to make that blend better, I'm going to go to a dark brown just to complete it. So I'm going to go to Sally Hansen Central Bark 616, and we don't need much. Also, as you start filling in areas, you'll see things you missed because I can tell right here, there's a part of her neck showing that didn't get colored in. So now the fun part, the dress and wings. So I want to do the dress part in a, um, what am I trying to say? Like no sparkle. I was gonna do purple, but it's gonna be, I think, too much with the background. So let's do hers in blue. So I'm gonna do Maybelline turquoise tees. Now, part of this is difficult because I am having trouble deciding, is all of this her wings? Is part of it still the dress? Is part of it, like right here, her hair flowing through her wings? So I'm trying to decide what direction I'm going with it. So I feel like if I did make that part her hair, it's almost weird because it cuts off in between. So let's start with, I know the top portion is wings. So let's start with that. So for her wings, we're going to do this blue. It says LA Colors Glitter Vibes in Jelly Bella. It is a jelly polish, so hopefully it'll show up well. And I got this from Family Dollar because the wings got to have bling. And then I have an idea, once these dry, how to make them show up better. So I'm looking at the other fairy. Her wings, I can see clearly at the top, and then I think that's the bottom portion of her wings coming down. Because I'm just stuck on this one. It doesn't look like the dress, and it doesn't really look like all wings either. It almost does look like her hair's supposed to be coming through. But again, it looked to me it might look odd. Okay, I think I am gonna make this part her hair. It just looks too flowy. It's like lines of like to where it looks like hair. Just part of it, not all of this. The other one has hair coming down because I'm taking too much time trying to make for sure. I just can't tell. Okay, so then I gotta figure the rest of it. Okay, so the other two have an upper and bottom portion of wings, so that's what we're gonna do. We're having a bottom portion of wing. Okay, so for these little sparkles, I'm gonna use Pure Ice and Showstopper to color those in. And you know, us talking about don't rush. Well, we're gonna be we're supposed to have these really bad storms coming through, and it's supposed to be widespread. So I'm nervous about that. And I'm hoping I can get these done. Could you imagine you get right to the end and then you can't finish it? But as long as everybody's safe. So hope you are all doing well, feeling well, and staying safe. Okay. So to get our wings to kind of show up better, so you can see it over the black area here, but over that my background I have, it's not gonna show up too well. Okay, I changed my mind. Actually, I applied a little bit more. I think it'll be okay. Because I don't want them to be necessarily colored. I just want them. Let me show you. By the way, I feel like we're getting storms all the time, like more so than like ever. Do y'all feel like that, or am I just in my head? Okay, so for this one's hair, we're gonna do Candy Moyo 957. Top just come off. I have to remember to super glue that back. Also, on another crazy note, I wanted to say, ladies, always apologize. Somebody decided to zoom by and it was super loud. Um, yeah, always be aware of your surroundings and be safe. 'Cause I've been reading really crazy, creepy things happening at gas stations. Um, if you don't have to go by yourself, please don't. Always be aware of like what is around you, what things on the door. Listen, there's some crazy things. Um, so just be safe. What is this thing here? that part of her hair, y'all? I think it should be. Let me just hold on for a second. So I'll come back to that piece. I think it is part of her hair, but I'm a little confused. So let's do her dress in this green. So this is LA Colors in Energy. So yeah, I told one of our nail friends, I was like, we're gonna get to where we have to carry a coffee can in our cars, y'all, like just so we can be safe. I mean, I'm sorry, I know that's TMI, but good grief, like, so y'all may end up hearing my doggy bark. If you do, I do apologize. Okay, had to already add more polish. Okay, real quick, I'm doing the same thing with her little sparkles. Okay, for her wings, we're gonna do LA Colors, Mermaid Magic, and Turtley. Okay, I know I still gotta decide on this whatever hair thing. Is it her hair or is it part of a wing? I don't know. Okay, I did make it be part of her hair. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna do some blonde hair. Having to pick her up because she's so tiny I can't see. Okay, I'm gonna give her this color dress. Candy Moyo 937. For the flowers she's sitting on, I'm gonna do Maybelline Plenty Pink. And for her wings, I want to use LA Colors in Ice Lemonade. I've noticed that a lot of ladies around my age group are fairy lovers. I'm like, what, wonder what caused that? Because, like, I've always loved fairies. Wonder if it was like Tinkerbell. Because I was trying to think if there were like different shows that we had. Are you a fairy person? Okay. Looking to see if I missed anything on her. Looking to see. Hopefully that bling will come up. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the fairy plate. I want to get this image here. I may end up doing it twice. I don't know. Because I first want to try Maniology's Lasso B395. and see how that looks. I'm going to try to place it in the middle of this nail. Okay. You can't see it a lot. But I was also thinking to take It's Lit B262 to kind of get more of the sparkly effect over it. So let's do that. Okay, I don't like it. You can't see anything. Let me go over it with Bam White. Then I'll go back over it with It's Lit. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. Okay, I want to get this little fairy here, and she's solid except her wings can be colored in. So I will do that. And I think I'm going to use Maniology's Ilma B474. So I won't place her yet because I am going to color in her wings. Okay. So I was looking at her over the nail. So I set her aside. And then I also want this one down here. Can also color in her wings, but I think for her pickup, I'm going to do Maniology's Littlefoot B281. I know I mentioned not doing purple earlier, but since it's solid, I'm just going to see how it looks. Uh-oh. Did not have another stamper ready. I've also been trying to concentrate on having my pickups in the middle because they seem to pick up better than versus being down at the bottom. It just depends. Okay, I'm looking at it. I think it'll be okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and place this fairy. So she looks like she's taken off to fly. So I kind of want to put her up a little bit above the mushroom, kind of like she just took off from it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add this one as well. She's gonna be standing on the log. I really like this one. So she did overlap the tree, so that's good. I went ahead and did the tree first. Okay, so for this one, I want her wings to be LA Colors, Glitter Vibes, and Jelly Sweet. I'll also have to color in that piece of her hair that's missing. Okay, and then for this one, I'm gonna do LA Colors, Glitter Vibes, and Jelly Cute. A little bit more. And for these two, I'm thinking I need to, after they dry, I think I'm gonna add a white base behind them so that they will show up better. So when that's done, I will come back. Okay, also I want to get these two little fairies here, and I'm going to use Maniology Skin Deep B325, which is the one I was mentioning earlier. And that's the last two fairies. Okay, I got the white base on these two. So there's the pink one and purple one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and place our garden fairy. Ooh, and the nail's coming off. Okay, for these two, I'm going to use LA Colors in Eternal Glow for the wings. Oh, I can't see them. I had to put them over the black right here to see them. So these two, I'll also probably do the white background. You could do these two different colors if you wanted. I just made them the same. They look like they're like touching like fingers or something, hands, and they're just playing, doing their little fairy thing. So after I get the white on, I'll show it to you. Thanks. For our garden fairy, above her, I think I'm going to take Evergreen Terminology B315. An alternative is Rind. I'm going to pick up this image here. It does have a layering part. Oh, I can't even keep up with what I'm doing now. I got so many things laying out. Okay, but I'm going to turn it. Okay. For the layering part, I'm going to go back to uh, Emerald City. Forgive me, I cannot keep my mind straight now. Okay, and I'm going to do that one more time on the opposite side. Okay, so I'm fixing to place the first one. Let me do it this direction. Oh, don't fall off now. Okay, now the layering portion. I'm trying to pause a little bit because I know this video is super long. Okay. Hope you can see. I'm having trouble seeing. Wait, let me face it this direction. That way it looks like she's within the little garden. Okay, got the white background on these two. We're gonna place these two. So we have the pink one. It's actually like a pinky orange. And then the purple one. Okay. I'm gonna go back to this plate. I'm gonna take Maniology's Maui Gold B282. I'm gonna use these as fairy sparkles. So I'm just gonna get a section at a time and place them around this nail. So I'm just gonna do this until I get it to the way I want, and I will be back and show you. So I also went over it with its lit, but now I'm gonna take this little shoop swirl thing in Bam White, just so it'll look like, kind of like shoop, with their little wands. Now I could use this, but I think I'm gonna try this. I'll just have to do it several times. And yes, I know I've got that stuff is coming off on me. So I'll definitely, oh, I waited too long. Hold on. So that image just didn't want to do, so I did have to do the other little squiggle lines. Okay, so real quick, I don't like the way these two turned out. So I have repicked them up in, what did I use? Straight up black. I did the wings the same color as I did before, but they're still not showing up great, so I'm still may need to put just something behind them. So I'm gonna let those dry. These ones are going bye-bye. I think I'm going to put, instead of a white base behind them, I'm gonna put a dark base. Like, so I did these two with over the wings with Central Bark, so that we'll be able to see that shimmer better. Now, I didn't want to go with straight black, otherwise you wouldn't see the lines of the wings. Okay, I'm gonna place these two. Now, I'll tell you what else I've done because I just couldn't. That other nail, the bigger nail with the two fairies, complete redo. Don't worry, I'm not going to take up all your time. But what I am going to do is I don't like those little sparkles. They just don't look right. So I'm going to go to Maniology Plate M012. This is going to be our little sparkles. Actually, what I could do is try this one, parts of it. So I'm going to use Maniology's Heart of Gold B187. First of all, I'm going to do it around this one. So I'm just going to take pieces of it at a time. Can't really see that either, can you? Okay, so I'll do it until I get it to the way I want, and I'll be back and show you. Okay, so I had to go through to do it a few times. What I think I'm going to do for this one is the same thing in the middle. and then work around it. Okay. Now I do still want this image. I want it in the middle still, but this time I think I'm going to go to Yuletide Yellow B533 and see if that doesn't show up the way I want. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, and just so you know, I went back to get the exact same two fairies, but I picked them up in straight up black this time, and I'm going to still do their wings, one in the pink, one in the purple, and then I'll probably again add a black, or that darker, it's like the dark brown, that Sally Hansen one over those. So I'll do all that and be back. Okay, I've done those and I'll show you. And that's the thing with nail art. You don't like it, you can redo it. Is that fun to have to redo it? No, but you can make it the way you want it. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry before I place them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these two placed. Okay, and we are done. I apologize for it being super duper long, but I had a lot of details and then changing my mind and doing the nail redo. So, got our little magical fairyland. So these two is just over here flying and playing around doing their little fairy dust sprinkles. This one just flew off of her mushroom. She's got the tree above her. She's the one got the little glitters too. Let's see if you can see those. Also her wings was the blue tone to match her dress. Then we have our little garden fairy. She's sitting on the little flowers. She's got the greenery above her. She got the yellow toned wings. Then we have the one on the branch. Her wings were the green tone, but they do have a little bit of blue in them from the blue, there's like some blue glitters in that green. And she also has the glitter on her nail, or on this nail. And then we got these two little fairy friends also flying around having fun. Got their little fairy sparkles around them as well. So these two sort of go together a little bit. I really like this fairy, but this one's cute because she's like really into her little digging around in her little flowers. I apologize. I'm moving it, just trying to get see like this one, you could see that sparkle on her wings when I moved it. Just catch little glimmers of it, the different tones on the wings here and there. So some of my other fairy nails, actually probably I think all of them, I ended up keeping them because I love fairies so much. So I don't know. I may end up keeping this one too. Again, I apologize for this being so long, but I do greatly appreciate you watching. I do hope you enjoyed. I will list the Maniology products I used in the description box. And until the next one, have a blessed day. Bye.